I want to tell you how sleepy I am. I am so sleepy, and it's not a jet lag because it's only an hour difference from where I am now. I'm in Dallas, Texas, from Mexico, and in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta, we're an hour behind Dallas because we don't have daylight savings time. I don't think it's jet lag, but I'm sleepy. I am so sleepy. What did I want to talk about today? I wanted to talk about locations and where we choose to go in life. And I mean physical locations. The stores you shop in, the places that you go eat, the gym you work out in. I want to talk about locations. And if you are a person that is on a journey, and I won't even call it a spiritual journey, but like if you're a person that is interested in elevating, you're interested in doing better, looking better, feeling better, being better, right? Upgrading yourself. You have got to get really, really, really clear on locations, physical locations, but also understanding a very critical piece of quantum jumping, upgrading, whatever you want to call it. And that critical piece is this. Always remember about frequency, okay? Energy and frequency. There's a saying that says birds of a feather flock together, and I want to explain that. It's talking about frequency. People that have similar frequencies will migrate together. People who have similar frequencies must, it's a universal law, they must be at the same kinds of places. That's how people that come together and they decide that they both want to elevate their frequency, that's a good thing. That means that you both can grow. But when you get together with people and only one person starts to understand and learn that they want to increase their frequency and another person doesn't, that's when you'll become unequally yoked. You met each other on the same frequency because there's no way that you could have even met had you not been on the same frequency. And what I like about this conversation is it's a humbling conversation. This conversation, this fact, these laws that I'm sharing will humble somebody who believes that they are higher than what they think they are. Like if somebody thinks that they are so impressive and they're so high frequency and they're so high vibration, right? They really believe that they are all those things, but they're still in places where people that have lower frequencies have access to them. You're not as high frequency as you think you are. You are not where you believe you are. You're in a place where you got to get real with yourself. Energy doesn't lie. So if you're in places where people are there that you think that you're better than them and above them, I'm here to tell you that you're not. First of all, nobody's above anybody. And just because I think that when we use the word frequencies, I think that we, what's the word? I want to say, like, not necessarily arrogantly, but we think, I guess we've been conditioned or socialized to believe that frequency just means like up and down. Like, okay, because we use terms like higher and lower, right? And so we think that they're just this vertical movement. But the thing about frequency is not vertical, it's not horizontal. It is just where it is. It's just a location. It's just a space. Frequency could be everywhere. It could be any and everywhere, right? Frequency is all over the place. But whoever's frequency that you're similar to, you will be in the same places. So for example, I don't choose to shop at Walmart. It has nothing to do with DEI. It has nothing to do with anything. But if you're a black person, right, and you're always complaining about going out and seeing people with bonnets, why are you in places where people wear bonnets? Go to places where people don't wear bonnets. If you don't want to see people in pajamas, why are you in places where people are wearing pajamas? If you know that the people in Walmart look a certain type of way, stop going to Walmart. I stopped going to Walmart. When I started seeing some of the attire at Walmart, There is no way that a person can come out of the house with this attire on and feel good about themselves and feel like they are a goddess, to feel like they are expanded, to love themselves. There is a judgment that I hold that people that wear these types of things, that are okay with going out in public in this type of attire without, when I go out in public, this is an upgrade conversation, okay? Because we're still talking about frequency, but you got to get into the mindset of, when I go out in public, basically this is my wardrobe. It doesn't matter if you go out just to the corner. Every time you go outside, you should be in your wardrobe. And if your wardrobe is pajamas and bonnets, that is a frequency that I'm not on. So I'm not going to go in places where people are on frequencies that they wear wardrobes of pajamas and bottoms, right? Booty cheeks hanging out the bottom. You know, that's not the frequency I'm on. I'm not even saying I'm a Target girly. I'll have to just go to Amazon or Ross or try to find whatever I need somewhere else. But going into Walmart is just, that's not a thing for me. Also, what I've learned going inside of Walmart, the people that were going inside of Walmart, I don't work a traditional job. Therefore, even the way I drive is different. You guys know I live in Mexico, so I notice when I'm driving around, my sister laughs at me. She comes back home from, my sister's been in Paris. And my niece is in Italy. I wonder if she's back yet. I don't know. I have to check on that. But I picked my sister up from the airport tonight, and I just got in from Mexico 2 days ago. So I'll be here for about 6 weeks. And I'll pick her up tonight. But where was I going with this? Look here, I don't know. I told y'all I was sleepy. I told y'all on the onset that I was sleepy. But anyway, we're talking about frequency and vibration or whatever. And shit, I'll bring up the point since I'm already talking about a flight. Airlines. I've flied Spirit, and I have flied Frontier. I'm over it. There is a type of and here's how I know it's the type of people over there, because they're over there for something cheaper. They're over there for something cost efficient. I don't live a life that has to find things that are cost efficient. So there's no need for me to be in spaces where other people are, that is their goal, that is their need in life, to be cost efficient. I don't have that need in life. And so my vibration and frequency have shifted to the point where my finances have shifted, where my lifestyle has shifted, and I can afford Delta, and I can afford American, and I can afford some United. I can afford different airlines. I don't have to just try to find the cheap $22 ticket, because with that comes, look at the treatment that they give the people on Spirit Airlines. Look at the way that the flight attendants show up. I flew Frontier from Mexico to here. I don't think I'll do that again. The flight attendants, I want my flight attendants to look kept. I want them to look beautiful. I want them to be just as pretty as they were on the olden days. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how thick you are. I just want you to look put together. And one of my flight attendants had cornrows. And listen, culturally, I think that's great. But her cornrows were fuzzy. Her edges weren't laid. And she looked like she just rolled out of bed. And you're going to be on this flight all day like there was nothing beautiful about it. There was nothing kept. There was nothing polished and neat about it. And that's not an arrogant statement. What I'm saying is if you are okay with allowing yourself to go out into the world and that's the way you present yourself, that shows how you feel about yourself. That honestly, a lot of times it just shows that you're not thinking about yourself. It's not even saying that I don't think that I'm worthy, or I don't think that you are not thinking about yourself. And so when you don't think about yourself, you will continue to come out into public looking a mess. And that's completely different for me. I'm always thinking about myself. I'm always concerned about myself. I'm always like, I might be too concerned about myself, like to the point where I believe that people have bumps and bruises and aches and pains all day, right? I really do believe people have that. But when you're so busy at work and dealing with kids and other spouses, it's not even that you don't have, it is. Well, I was going to say, a lot of people say, I don't have time to think about myself. You don't have the energy. You don't have the capacity to think about yourself. Well, that's not like that with me. I don't have any children. I don't have a spouse. All I do is sit and think about myself. So every bump and ache and pain, I'm aware of. Only because I don't have anything else to think about but myself. So how dare I come out in public looking a mess? Ever. And so I look at the locations, we're talking about geographical locations. I look at the locations and stores that I choose to go into, and if I see the types of people that are not in the same frequency of me, I don't need to be at that store. I need to find another store that offers that. Will it cost more money? Yes, but I am not looking for a deal. I'm looking for frequency. I'm looking for attention. I'm looking for where energy goes, where attention flows. Do you hear what I'm telling you? And if you keep going into locations, if you keep sitting at tables, if you keep frequenting stores that the frequency of those people is not the location of where you're trying to go. Their frequency is here. You're trying to go here. If you keep going to those stores, if you keep staying in geographical locations, physical locations with people that you are trying to upgrade from, it can't happen. You will always constantly be pulled back, because birds of a feather flock together through conversation, through perception, what you see, like literally from what you see and what you hear, you will start acclimating back into the same environment or a different environment that's not where you want to be. Energy is a real thing, and it is that serious. This game is that serious. This is all a game, but you need to know rules of this game. You need to just understand how it works. If you understand how it works, you can kind of create some of your own. If you understand how the game works, and the how does talk about the why it works this way, it'll show you other areas of that same pattern if you focus on how it works, right? When you do that, then you focus on who you are and you develop rules according to you. You got to remember, the rules that I have for me are not the rules for you all. My rule is I don't work hard. But that can't be your rule, because you have different paradigms that are in your mind. You might have had even a different upbringing, right? My upbringing was that type of upbringing where I didn't have to work. And so it would actually delay me more if I tried to take on the mantle of I have to work hard. It would delay me further, because that's not my programming. My mom and my dad, I grew up privileged. My mom and my dad made a princess. I never worked hard. I never labored, toiled, asked twice for anything. So therefore, as an adult, I have to still flow in that same, and I hate to say and knowing what I know, that I don't work hard, that still means that I need to know how the game works so that I can know who I need to be around, so that I can understand the conversations that I need to have, so that I can understand the places that I need to go that are compatible with the kind of upbringing, with the type of programming that I have. And it's the same for everybody watching this. You need to know who you are, you need to know how the game works, and you need to put yourself in positions and in places around influence and people that are going to be better compatible for how you are wired, how you are made, how you flow, right? Can you change things? Could I change it and become a worker? I could. Why would I want to do that? For me personally, I don't know. Like, I'm not a man. Men want to work. I'm a woman. I want to relax and be a lady of leisure, and that is what I do. I want to travel, and that is what I do. When I get ready to travel to the United States, I travel to the United States. When I read, like, even while I'm here, I might do some traveling within the States. Like, I do what I want to do, because that is how I was raised, I was programmed, and to go against that would take a lot of work. Doesn't that just sound counterproductive? I don't want to work, and to make myself into a worker would take more work. No thanks. So I'm grateful to my parents. Now, is it all saying this, you would think, oh, that's really got to be an easy life, that you don't have to work and things just come to you. It's not easy, and especially when you're in a world that teaches you that you have to work. So I constantly have to turn off all this hustle, grind, work. It's inundated on all of our social media platforms. Grind until you go to sleep, or even saying you get married to a rich man so that you don't have to work. Well, I don't want to get married to a man, probably ever. So I have to cut off those types of conversations to make sure that I stay in the programming that I was born into. So that's work, but it's more mental and emotional work. I'm good at that. That is my strong suit as a woman, is mental, emotional, spiritual work. If I am not a laborer, I am not, these hands are manicured. They are not a laborer's hands. But this mind is vicious. This mind is good, right? That scripture that comes to my mind, let this mind also be in you that is in Christ, like that. And I'm not a Christian, but I know the Bible very well because I was born and raised in it. And so I'm able to really understand what some of these scriptures meant. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that the Bible has been very tampered with and touched by man. But what I can pull from it, I will, and I can, because I was raised in the culture of it. So it is what it is. Whatever was built in me, I can use it. Whatever, what is it? Train up a child in the way that they should go, and they will not depart. Whatever it was built in me, I can use it. And so I know it makes some Christians mad, but guess what? You can't gatekeep it. I can use it, and it works for me too. So I know that makes religious people mad, but you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be saved. You don't have to accept Christ. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You can, if you know the Bible well enough, you can still use it. Witches use it. You can use it for anything you want. Anyway, geographical locations. Be mindful of where you're sitting. Be mindful of the stores you go into. Be mindful of the tables you sit at. Be mindful of the groups you hang out with. Be mindful. Be mindful. Stay out of groups of people that are talking about being big and know how to get dressed up for the night, but they don't know how to endure. They don't know how to produce anything long term. Like, for me personally, I got sick of the up and down, like having and then not having, and then having and then not having. I had to get myself around people that have, and they always have. And I had to figure out what is the difference between their pattern. What are they doing differently that they're having and they're always keeping? I didn't know, you guys. And this is because I am gaining a closer relationship with money. I've always had a relationship with money. My relationship with money was, can I have it? And I had it. Can I have it? And that's a great relationship. Like, I literally would go to my daddy first, because I'm a daddy's girl. Then my daddy passed, but still, my mom, right? My mom and dad were married for 43 years. And so I've just never had a problem with asking for the money and not getting it, right? Always. But my dad, one thing about my dad is my dad's like, okay, it's a girl, she's in college. My dad sent me $50 every week in college. Plus, they were paying for my rent, and I had a 2-bedroom apartment in college. Then he was sending me $50 a week. Plus, I am loved. I'm favored, and I don't care who it makes mad. I remember one day in college, I'm trying to make sure I don't lose my spot in my head, but I remember one day in college, the president of the university says, "Are you still looking for a job?" Ma'am, I didn't know that I was looking for a job, but what you got? She says, "Go see so-and-so." The thing was that I had locks back in college as well. I spoke well. I looked well. I was a presentable black person, and they were like, put this black girl up on the billboards. We want her to speak for the university on behalf of the blacks. So I had a job. I was getting paid with my job. My daddy was sending me money, and they were paying my bills. Then I started doing hair and started making more money. So money has never been an issue for me, ever. I'm a money maker. I am naturally attractive, right? Naturally, people want to give unto me, and I'm grateful for that. But how is it that I'm always getting this money? I was always getting the money, but I was having a difficult time maintaining it and multiplying it, right? And so when you get around people, I had to get around people who weren't having that up and down like I was having. And you get around new people, you get in new places so that you can learn new things. You can learn new patterns and behaviors. The people at Walmart have a certain set of patterns and behaviors, and they all do a lot of the same things. They move the same way. They get up in the morning begrudgingly for work the same way. They come home and come to Walmart at 5 o'clock pissed off at life and pissed off because they had to be in traffic, and the same way. I was trying to go into that earlier, like with me living in Mexico. I drive so slow. My sister laughs at me so much. She was like, "Girl, you can go faster." But I'm always like, I drive at my leisure, at my own pace in Mexico. I don't speed. I don't have a job to go to. I don't have any appointments to rush off to. Why am I speeding, right? So I don't. And I do that here in Dallas. And my sister's like, you need to get out of the middle of the street. I'm going the speed limit. If the speed limit is 40, I'm going to give you 39, right? I'm doing the right thing. It's these people speeding around me, but people are so anxious and people have places to go and appointments and I don't live like that. So I don't need to be in places of people that live like that. I just went to Sprouts. It's different. It's different over there. It's calm. People are just different energy. Their countenance was much more polite and up and cheery and upbeat. It's different over there at Sprouts. The types of offerings over there are different. The brands are different. You feel what I'm telling you? The people behave different. So you got different, you can have an opportunity and access for different models, different roles to be modeled toward you, different temperaments, different attitudes. You get to look and see what people get off at work at 5 o'clock that aren't mad, that enjoy their job. They're entrepreneurs over there, like successful ones that are not just barely making it by the skin of their teeth and like staying in a state of anxiety. These people are doing well. So there's just different people in different environments. And so I encourage you all, I hope that you get this from this video, is that be mindful of the place that you're going. And then the second thing is be brave, because there are going to be times that you're going to be like, oh, I could just run into Walmart and get this. Don't. Make a stand. Decide. Just decide what you're going to do. Things are as hard as you make it. If you decide you're not going there, then don't. If you decide you're not going to be with these people anymore, then don't. If you decide that you're not going to talk to these people anymore, then don't. If you decide that you're going to dress up every time you go outside, then do. If you decide that you're going to take your time, one of the things I've really got into this year, taking my time and putting oil on my whole body. I was that type that was bathing and then rushing out the door. And like I said, I live in Mexico, so it's really humid. And I'm like, oh, the humidity can just moisten me up. And of course it did. I'm never ashy there. But also, I could use some extra hydration. So I started extra hydrating myself. But it takes time to do that. And guess what? That's all I got down there, time. And all the time is mine. No job owns my time. No children own my time. No spouse owns my time. And when you think about it like that, like all of my time is energy. Energy is time. When you go to work, you trade your energy for $20 an hour. Oh, you thought it was just your time? Time is energy, and energy is time. It's the most valuable thing that you have. The 24 hours of the day that you have are so fucking valuable, because this 24 hours of energy. So we have to go to sleep so we can build back up, right? I don't care if you even go to sleep for 2 hours. There's some people that can operate off of 2 hours. I'm not that person. I'm gonna need a good 9-8 hours of sleep every night. My 9 o'clock alarm goes off, and that basically is to calm down, bring yourself in, start getting off the phone, start wrapping shit up. By 10 o'clock, I'm in the bed. And I'm not waking up till, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whenever I wake up the next day, that's when I'm going to wake up. Be mindful. But I can do that because I made choices 2 years ago of where I was going to be, where I was going to live, who I was going to be around. I decided I wanted to be in a country that didn't have as much anxiety running rampant. So I moved to Mexico. Is it lonely there? Sure, sometimes it does get lonely, but I'll take lonely to anxiety. Because the thing is that I don't have to be lonely there. I'm learning the language. You're going to learn the language some more and get yourself out. There are plenty of people. There are Americans down there. There are United States. Mexico is America. Let me be really clear. Mexico is America. Everything in North America and South America is America. But the United States is specific. It's not the 50 nifty. We used to call it the 50 nifty. It's like, I think now 54 states, provinces in the United States. So anyway, when you decide, and it was a big decision to move my entire life by myself to Mexico. Yeah. But I decided that I wanted to be in a place that wasn't as stressful. I wanted to be in a place where I didn't have to give 40 hours a week of my time and energy off of myself and off of bettering myself and thinking and going through childhood trauma and learning about how I'm wired. Like I traded all of this that shit in because I said, you know what, I'll be lonely by myself if it gives me more time to understand myself and know myself better and strengthen myself to the point where I don't care. Like literally lonely is most people's worst fear. So I went down there and went ahead and just faced my worst fear. I don't want to be alone. Well, see, I never had that. I didn't want to be alone. That was never my issue, that I didn't want to be alone. I'm the third child of a family. And if you're the baby of the family, most of you all know when you get old enough, if you have older siblings, a lot of times that baby kind of get forgotten. Because they just feel like everybody's going, somebody got the baby. Somebody got the, you guys, there's a show called Shameless. I love that show. And Shameless was about, the dad's name was Frank. And Frank was an alcoholic. And his oldest daughter, Fiona, took care of 5 siblings. Ian, Philip, that they called Lip. What was that girl's name? Ian, Lip. I'm looking at her face. No, her daughter's name was Franny. I don't know, the girl. And then Carl, and then the baby's name was Liam, and Liam was black. And that was weird because the whole family's white and Liam is black. But they went with that story the entire show, and how Liam had the same mama and the same daddy, went and got DNA tested and everything, but he just came out black, like some recessive gene. Anyway, and it takes place in Chicago. But a lot of times, Liam kind of just got forgotten, like who got Liam today, and sometimes they would have Liam and sometimes they wouldn't. And one time they had a party and Liam got into some cocaine, and now, I ain't never got into none of that because I was in a nice church home. They was Christian, super country, good wholesome values, Midwest Cosby Show. That's how I grew up. But the baby, oftentimes, I remember one time I got left at home by myself, and I might have been 6 or 7, way too young, scared out of my boots. But it was an accident because everybody got to moving and busy and thought that somebody had me, and they didn't. So as I got older and, you know, I could be by myself, I was. My dad was very sick growing up. And so he picked me up from school. And when we got to the house, he went into his room to lay down because it was like he had given everything he had in the day already because he was sick quite often. He'd given all he had. And so, you know, I'm home, I'm safe, I'm fed, and it was basically fast food. Most of the time it was, I loved Burger King and Fazoli's, which was a pasta place, and McDonald's. Like, I ate fast food all the time as a child. So now I'm getting fat, right? And then I go home and I'm in my room by myself until my mom comes home. And when mom comes home, it's about time to go to sleep, right? I got about 3 hours, but she's got to have time for herself. She's got to cook something, but I've already eaten, but I won't eat again because my mama can cook. So it was a lot of disorder for me, dysregulation for me as a kiddo, as a baby of the family. But also it was just a kind of a like, she'll be all right. You know what I mean? There's people home. She's got a TV in her room. First of all, you got your own room. So many people didn't even have their own room. I got my own room, my own bathroom. I got my TV, my VCR, every video game you want. We got a regular Nintendo. We got a Sega Genesis. What more could she want, right? I got every doll that ever came out. Any toy that came out that was the hot of the year, I got it. Promise you. On Christmas Day, I got it. So it was just kind of like, she's got lots of stuff. She's okay. But I was alone. So I'm used to being alone. I actually enjoy being alone a lot more because that is what I'm used to. I don't have to regulate around anybody. I can just be myself, unregulated and wonderful when I'm alone, right? So that was never a problem for me. But I'll tell you my secret for me was going crazy. Well, I went crazy and I'm like, it's not so bad over here. I remember when I lost my mind. It's good. There was something so pleasant about that space. Even your emotions have an echo and so much space. I love it. I done gone crazy. So technically I'm crazy now, right? I love it. I enjoy it. That was my worst fear, and my worst fear has been wonderful. It's been a dream. So be mindful, you guys. Be bold and decide. Be clear about where you're going, who you are, and who you want to be. And get clear that who you want to be may not be compatible with these places that you're going to. It may not be compatible with these restaurants. I just thought about it the other day. I haven't eaten McDonald's in a year, over a year, because it's not compatible with who I am. I'm not telling you I don't eat burgers. I eat burgers. I like smash burgers. And I like hole-in-the-wall places. I'll go ahead and give you $10 and $11 for a burger. I will get for just the burger, not the fries, not the drink. I've upgraded on my burgerage. I'm not telling you I don't eat tacos, but I damn sure would never go to a Taco Bell. Especially when I live in Mexico. No. When I come to the States, I still have to have a quality of taco. And there are plenty of places, plenty of Mexican Americans around here that have great restaurants, and I will get those kind of tacos, but you wouldn't catch me. There are just some places you're not going to catch me in Walmart. You're not going to catch me in, like I went to the Dollar Tree today. I might not be back there in much anymore. I went into there because the Dollar Tree, and there's a store called Pop Shelf. They're having like these like dupes of more expensive things. And so one thing I challenge myself to do, because I can shop. I can shop. And when I'm in Mexico, I don't have a consumer situation. It doesn't, because the amount of things that could tempt you to buy it is severely cut. But the moment I'm coming to the matrix of the United States, your girl's debit card, baby, hate to see me coming. I've been shopping. Every day since I've been here, I've been shopping. I love shopping, right? I love spending money. I love money. I love spending money, and I love money. I love enjoying money. Receiving money, spending money. I love everything about money, right? But I said that to say that when where I spend my money matters, because I got the money through my being, right? Through me being a receiver, through me being who I am, my nature, for me coaching people, mentoring people. Just that's my natural, right? So a part of my energy is attached to that money, and I'm not taking my money. I'm not taking myself into stores that are not compatible with my frequency. But also, because I like to shop so much, I will give myself challenges. So let me give an example. I wanted to get into my skincare. If you guys know, skincare can be expensive. There are creams and serums that can be $100, $200. Shit is great. And I ultimately want to get up there. But routine, sometimes I have to give myself enough time to get it into a routine and let it stick. So I buy cheaper versions of it to just teach myself the routine of it. And if I'm consistent with the cheaper version, then I will upgrade myself to a more expensive version. This is my method, so that I don't just become this wild, erratic consumer, because I just told y'all I like to spend money. It's fun. It's great fun. So I will just challenge. So for even my gym, I would not let myself get a gym membership until I proved that I was going to go out and walk. It's free to walk outside. So give yourself 30 days of just walking outside for free. If you can prove to yourself that you can walk outside for free every day and be committed to that, then I will let you invest your $35 into this gym. But you're not about to invest this $35 and never go. Do you know how many people, do you know how gyms make bank? I worked at 24 Hour Fitness for 3 years. Gyms make bank off of people that buy the memberships and never show up, but it continues to auto draft from their account. Bank. It wasn't gonna do that with me. I was gonna make sure that I used what I purchased. So that's why I went to the Dollar Tree, to get something of a cheaper, so that I could, practice and make sure that I had it in my schedule, my routine, and could be committed and disciplined to it. And then I upgraded, right? So, and Pop Shelf too. And a lot of people, influencers online, will teach you the different stores that have dupes, that have like a similar version of it, but it's a lot cheaper, right? So I wanted to get the similar version of the L'Oreal. It's a L'Oreal face cream, and I got it from the Dollar Tree. And guess what? I'm gonna give myself a B+. I won't say it's an A, because I won't say I do it every day, but I will say that I do it often. And when I do it, I enjoy doing it. I have such a good time doing my skincare. So, y'all know, ain't it cute? Y'all go, guess what? I'm going to be 42 on Thursday. 42. Where? So, yeah, skincare, that's definitely high on my priorities list. Making sure that I take care of my skin. All right, I'm wrapping it up, you guys. Be mindful of where you go. Be mindful of the audiences that you're around. Be mindful of where you're spending your money. Be mindful of where your attention is going and flowing. And know this, I can't say this enough. Please don't be arrogant and think that you're better than people, because if you're in the same places that these people are in, geographically, something about you and them is vibrating on the same frequency. Because if it was not, you would not be able to be in the same place. So humble yourself. Ask yourself what you need to do to shift, and then do it. Be willing to do it. And a lot of times it's not this voice that'll come to you and be like, do this. It's not that, right? It'll be like a suggestion, like, hey, try this store today. And you'll be like, I've never been to that store before. Your spirit is leading you. Your future version of yourself is always leading you to where you say you want to be. But a lot of times we resist it because of familiarity, and we resist it because of habits. And habits keep us in the same spot. But if you would just release some of those habits that are keeping you in your, if I were you, people, I would review what you do every day. Review it. Like, start keeping a log and a journal of what you're doing every day. What am I eating? It's like, start with what you're eating, then go into what am I doing, then go into what I'm thinking about, and like go a week at a time and give yourself the opportunity to look at your patterns and look at your weeks. And man, I spend a lot of time doing this. I spend a lot. What is this bringing me? What is this bringing me? Everything you do should be bringing you something. Everything you do in your daily schedule should be bringing you something. Even if a lot of your daily schedule is your children, it's you're pushing that into your children so that you can teach them, right? Although I will say this, no extra charge, if you are a parent, and especially if your child is, this is not for people that have like children that need their care 24 hours, as far as like babies or children that have developmental delays or physical delays and they need their parents all the time. This is not that. But if your child is a functioning, fully functioning, can be independent, then your child needs to see you be independent and doing things that you like to do too, because you are showing them the example of life. Like, you're showing them that, okay, I need to find something that I like to do. Like my mom likes to sew. Well, I like to paint, or I like to drive cars, or I like old cars, or I like art. Find something that you've got to do, mirror that, demonstrate that to your children. You are their role model of how to be an adult, how to be a human. So it is important for parents to have passions as well, and really find time that they can get lost in their own passions, because you're showing your children how to get lost in a passion. They won't know how to do it if you don't show them how to do it. My mom demonstrated school. Go to classes. Anything you want to learn, you go to a class, enroll in a class. Anything I want to learn, I be on Facebook, YouTube University. I don't even like other social media. I post on social media about once every 3 months just to show people that I'm still alive. Sometimes I go a year. Like, you can look and you be like, yeah, I like YouTube because YouTube is educational. And there's been a lot of, it's been some people that don't know what they're talking about and just trying to be monetized. There's been some infiltration on that. That happened a lot with the TikTok stuff. When that TikTok got kind of shaky, people started coming over to YouTube. Y'all stay on over on TikTok land. YouTube is a university. It is a higher institution of learning. And we get to learn from other people's experiences, and we get to learn from other people's knowledge and expertise in their degree fields. So yeah, I'm all about a YouTube University. Hey, how are you? And I'm just, again, just very, but also birds of a feather flock together. I'm not a TikTok girly. I'm a YouTube girly. And YouTube girlies are different. We're different over here. YouTube girlies elevate. YouTube girlies are all about expansion. They're all about, like, my algorithm on YouTube is all about upgrading, the glow up, the this, the that. And I'm like, man, I need to talk more about my glow up. I need to talk more about that, because if you guys have followed me in the last at least 3 years, you have seen me be homeless to living in a townhouse in Mexico. So you have seen a lot. So you have seen a lot of me and my journey, and I appreciate that. So was that everything I was going to say? Be mindful of your locations. Be mindful who you're associated with. Like, quite literally, if you were trying to upgrade and if you were trying to expand yourself, you need to put yourself around people that are expanding. Go find them. They are there. The moment you say that you want to expand, and the moment that you say that you want to be around people that expand, the universe runs to give you that. So it's there. But you need to ask yourself for the eye to be able to perceive the new. Help me to perceive expansion. A lot of times, people think that they know what money looks like. I know someone personally that they believe that they know what money looks like in other people, and I'm like, you don't know what. Now me, and this sounds arrogant, and it doesn't intend to be. This is just a fact, because I grew up in a. Do I want to use the word affluent? Kind of. I grew up well-to-do. Because I grew up well-to-do and around people that were well-to-do generationally. Like my grandparents were well-to-do on both sides of my family. My parents were well-to-do. So I did not have poverty on either side of my family. All I've ever known was to be able to have Black excellence. That's all I've ever known. So I see money differently. I see wealth differently. I see stability differently. And I am able to perceive and see people. I'm able to tell Rolexes. I mean, I don't just see watches on people. You know what I mean? I can tell the difference between an Invictus watch and a Rolex. I can tell the difference between an Amazon watch and something that's a Coach watch or things like that. You can look at people's skincare and tell if people that have crazy skin, crazy, just different, they don't have the time to care for their skin, and then they don't have the tools to care for it. Skin is an investment. Unless you were born with just good ass genetics, and some people have been. I had to work for mine a little bit. My mom's skin is great, but she just didn't do a lot to her skin. I'm my daddy's child. I'm definitely my daddy's child. So I'm glad to see it. So to look at what money looks like. And I think if you don't know what money looks like, you will follow after things that glitter, and that doesn't mean that it's money. Just because it's shiny doesn't mean it's money. Just because it talks big doesn't mean it's money. I want you guys to always remember that rich screams, wealth whispers. And there's a difference. There's a difference. Old money whispers, new money screams. So people that are very concerned about material things, and that's the only indication that you have that somebody is rich, because of something materialistic that they have on, and not necessarily any attributes, you're gonna fall for the carrot, the okie doke all the time. That little thing that cats have, and it's like a little fuzzy thing that cat owners have. That's what you'll be like, because you won't know how to perceive it. You'll get people around you that have. My dad had money, but my dad was depressed, so he dressed like a bum. But if you ever wanted to know if my dad had money, you could look at how he spent money. He never. My dad, if we went out to eat. I remember I did this one time when I was little. I was like, how much is something on the menu? My dad got offended. Like, do not ask how much anything is. If you want it, you get it. If you have to ask the prices, you should not be out here. This is the man who dressed like a bum, okay? He was depressed because he had shit going on, you know? And I'm not good with moody, emotional men. I don't do that shit. But men do have feelings, and my dad definitely had some things that he needed to work through. He didn't in this lifetime, but he'll get it together in his next one. But the way he spent money very confidently, very boldly. When my dad is the one who took me shopping for clothes. When I went shopping for clothes, when it was time to go to the front, he never flinched. They just, scanning it, and every once in a while, here I go trying to put some more shit up there, like, what about this jewelry right here, what about this, right? And they'll scan it, and they'll be like $500, and I'm over here worried, like, looking at him. He's not even flinching. Like, he's just like, here, take it. So a lot of times it was cash, because it's back in the 90s. My dad would just fork out hundreds. My dad spent money comfortably, like a G. He may not have looked like it, because he did not look like it at all, but the way he spent money was so effortless. It was so calm. It was so Shit, let's do it. Run it. And I've taken on that as well. When it's time to spend, I'm spending. What? You give me a budget, you tell me how much I can spend? Spend every dollar. 'Cause that's what it's for. Right? Money is to be enjoyed. Money is to make money. I want to be around people who think like that. I cannot be around people who are couponing, or like I said, that hot, sometimes they got it, sometimes they don't. Like, it's this big high, low, you have, feast and famine. Like, over that. Like, that was me in my mid-30s. I was making like $10,000 a month because I was a hairstylist. But at the end of every month, I'm like, I could not pay my cell phone bill. I could not, because I was being reckless. I didn't have the same mentality about money that I have now. It was just wild. That's another story for another day. So be mindful of where you guys shop, where you eat, who you hang around, because it absolutely affects. It's not just about your 5 people that you're around every day, because a lot of times people say you're like your top 5 people that you interact with every day. It's that too, but most importantly, just as importantly, the stores you go to matter. Stop going to stores where people are looking a mess. Stop going into places where people do not care about themselves, and you can clearly see by the way that they present themselves to the world that they do not care about themselves. They do not think about themselves. They do not, like, the concern about themselves, and they're probably even their mental health is not present. Stop going into stores like that, because you are a person that cares about yourself. You are a person that knows who you are, and you want to present like who you are. You are a person that like, it's easy. That's like the outward appearance, the dress is the easy part of showing people who you are. It's the easy part. The hard part is making sure that you got your ears spiritually and energetically muffed enough that even when other people got you fucked up and don't know who you are, you still know who you are. The easy part is the outside appearance. The inside is the part that takes practice. But when you are committed and dedicated to shifting, to changing your frequency, to being in different groups, to elevating and upgrading, when they say you'll fight for your life, you'll fight for yourself, you will fight for your spiritual self to make sure that your spirit can stay strong and that your spirit can be. You are a creator. It's not about creating businesses. If you can't create yourself, hold off creating a business until you can create yourself. And yes, you do create yourself. And I'm not talking about flesh and blood. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your character. Who are you? All right? I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure that you like my page, subscribe, like the video. Like the video. Because I see people on here. Should be some more likes. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Share my channel with people. Share this video with people. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. I'm about to go spend a little more money. Just a little bit more. Like maybe like $20 more. $25. And then I'm going home. And then I pick up my sister tonight. I'm super excited to have her back home. I love myself. I love you. And I'll see you later. Bye.